As far as like volume and intensities, how are you gauging that though? You know what I mean? Because it's so different.
It's all, it all has to be reverse engineered from what they do the most, which is play basketball. So high minute guys, you're going to be like, yeah, we got to dial it back. You know, your medium the road guys, okay, we can play around some things. Guys that aren't playing, oh baby, it's training camp. You know, we're like, we got to prepare. We got to prepare tissues to be able to handle 20+ minute loads just in case you got to go in. So,
For sure.
Yeah, so there's multiple ways of getting that.
All right, let me go ahead get some more of these questions out of the way. All right, so one of my mentorees asked, his name's Lloyd, he asked, what kind of exercises, I'll say this, what is the main energy system that you usually train in season, right? Not off season, in season.
So energy systems, that's an interesting one. I will say this, their sport demands all of energy systems to be going at once. I mean, technically all of our energy systems are always going at once, right? So
I guess you would say, what's the focus point? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it depends on, I'm pretty sure it depends on the position too, correct?
So we got to break it down in multiple layers. So for simplicity's sake, let's go with, okay, we got high minute guys versus low minute guys. Okay. That's a way that you determine load or energy system or whatever you're trying to develop, right? And then you have specific to what they do. Let's just use, for example, for simplicity's sake, guards and bigs, right? So when you add load to a big, so we're saying we're doing back squats at 5x5 at 85% rep max, just say, right? That load on a big versus that load on a guard, which one do you think is going to have the most load?
Big. Well, big, obviously, yeah.
Because a big, right? Because he's got, I mean, it's a lot more effort for him to do the same thing a guard does just from gravity alone.
Yeah,
right?
For sure.
So that's where you have to be mindful of bigs, because bigs, for them to get up and down the court is not the same as a guard getting up and down the court.
Yeah, I can imagine, bro. Shit.
So that's where
it's like heavyweights, man.
Let's play a half rule. Like if you're big, you're doing half the volume as guards.
Well, that kind of makes sense. They're moving more load. The percentages obviously going to be higher per se, you know, quote unquote.
Right.
So it's just, honestly, you're just checking out the workload based off of their weight and how big they are. Right.
I mean, let's look at it like this. So I drive a big truck.
Yeah.
And my girl drives a little 84 Audi.
Yeah.
All right. We both go to Sedona, which is 5 hours away. Which one's going to have to fill up on gas the most?
Oh yeah, trust me, bro. I got the same truck. I seen your truck. You got GMC. You got Sierra. Yeah, I seen it, man. I got the same truck, bro.
It's tough.
Yeah, listen. I fucking drive 90 minutes a day to and from the gym. I'm killing myself. It's
you look good at it.
Oh, you know what I'm saying? I feel like it fits us. You know what I mean?
Facts, man. Facts. But the real deal is this: like, once again, it's a different fuel. It's a different means. You know, we got big ass tires on our truck. You know, they have more efficient tires on their car. You know, it just makes sense. You know, and so that's how you got to treat them different. And it could be like, yes, through exercise prescription, but volume is what you got to be really careful of with bigs.
Sure, I'll bet. Okay, there's another one. So Michael asked me to ask you, what is the agility plyometric work look like in season versus off season? Is there any acceleration training, deceleration training, and change of direction training, obviously? So.
This is an amazing question. For most people, they would just go, oh, no plyometrics because it's in season. They're already doing it, which is very correct. Like, once again, the sport, that I think a lot of people get lost in the sauce on this, where they're like, they separate the weight room and the sport. Like, what is the actual demands of the sport? Well, it's sprinting, it's change of direction, and it's jumping. Like, okay, why do I need to do more plyometrics in the weight room? Good point. I probably don't need to, but with that being said, there's some other things that we can do that will complement plyometrics, right? Obviously, isometrics and eccentrics, right? But from a place that's like more higher velocity, looking into Franz Bosch's work. Now, never go full Bosch, I've always been told. But never go full Bosch. But like, there's certain things that are like make a lot of sense, like the fluctuators and how you train the GTOs and muscle spindles to be able to handle variability within high velocity movements via, you know, like if I'm doing a lunge into a step up, I mean, basically what I'm doing is I'm doing gait, I'm doing sprinting. I'm just doing it at lower velocities but I'm using different means and methods. I'm using water bags. I'm using all these different things that will challenge the motor control of the movements that they do at high velocities. So that is not necessarily plyometric in nature, but it does complement the plyometrics that they're doing. I do a ton of that type of work with my guys pregame. And then sometimes that's their lift for the high minute guys, because it's about keeping them healthy, And once again, now people are going to assume, oh man, the high minute guys, man, they don't lift. Well, okay. Yes, they do. We just get it through different means, which means, yes, they do the boss stuff, but when we get them in like one or twice a week, that's when you get them with heavy isometrics. And so once again, like we're never going away from load. Load will always be present. It's just how we deliver that load to the system. What's the means that makes the most sense?